All righty. All righty. Are we live here? Is it working? Let's see if everyone's coming in. Let's see if we've got this going the way we need it to. Give me a second here. I am once again on StreamYard, and we are going to get this going here in a second. Let me make sure I've got everything turned on. Looks like I do. All righty. How are we all doing? Well, I'll let people roll in here. I'll let people filter on in as we're figuring out what we're going to do. I realize it is a little bit late on a Sunday night. I was out with some buddies after putting together a bunch of stuff earlier today, doing a couple of videos, saying, is this happening or not? It should be going. I see. Are we there? Can everyone see me? Can you hear me? If you can't see me, if you can't hear me, let me know, and I will do what I can to get that fixed. But it looks like things are going well. So I'll let a few more people roll on in here. Then we'll talk about the 1-year anniversary of President Donald Trump. At that time, candidate Donald Trump running for his return to the office, barely, narrowly, miraculously surviving an assassin's gunfire. Just an absolutely insane situation. Hard to believe we're already a year removed from when that happened. Feels like, quite frankly, it happened just yesterday. And we're going to break it all down. I'm going to get into a bunch of stuff. I'm going to kind of give you my reflections of how the day went from where I was. I'm going to give you how I learned about the news, and then just quite frankly, the insanity that we don't really still understand or know how Thomas Matthew Crooks was able to do this and almost able to kill now President Donald Trump. I have no idea if YouTube is going to let this video stay up, if it'll be allowed to be monetized. I don't have a clue at all, because when you talk about subjects like this, when you talk about violent subjects where there's been shootings or whatever it might be, YouTube likes to come in fast and take things down, censor them. So I'm taking a bit of a risk here. We'll see how it goes. I hope it goes very, very well. I'm going to let a few more people roll in. Then we'll dive into it. I'll answer some questions the best I can throughout. We've got some other topics. Tucker Carlson is back in the news after his speech at TPUSA, which I'm sure we will get into, and much, much more. I did a video discussing his cartel stuff, and obviously he made a lot of other comments that are making waves. But this will mostly be about President Donald Trump. Get your super chats in. You guys know the drill. All super chats are guaranteed to be answered. So I think like we've waited a little bit here. People should be at this point ready to roll. So let's just get into it. Today is obviously July 13th, 2025. On this day 1 year ago, July 13th, 2024, the world watched when President Donald Trump was missed by a fraction of an inch, if not maybe even, we're talking about this much. We're talking about putting your fingers as close together as you can get them, like that. That is the distance that saved President Donald Trump's life. Obviously, we know the turn of the head, bullet hits him in the ear. People are saying yes. So real quick, I'm wearing a hoodie. I've got my Badgers hoodie on. If you guys can all see that. The AC is working. I'm pretty sure my fiance had it cranking throughout the day. It is very chilly in here now. Very cold, very nice change of pace from what it's been. So yes, I do have a hoodie on. If it gets too warm, I will take it off and I will put something else on. So this is essentially the baseline facts that everyone's in agreement on. Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was 19, 20 years old, a young man, he crawls up on a roof that the Secret Service had left 100% unsecured. The police had left 100% unsecured, and was able to fire off multiple shots at the president. I believe 3 shots were fired to Trump by the time he got down. Of course, in the video, which we will watch here shortly, I'll be interested to see whether or not YouTube, of course, allows this to stay up. We will see. He gets hit in the ear, touches it, sees the blood, hits the deck. Secret Service comes rushing in. There's a lot of questions about this situation. There's a lot of unanswered questions about this situation. There have been plenty of narratives put out there. There's been plenty of information floated around. But the reality of the situation is we still know next to absolutely nothing about what happened. It's really that simple. Yes, the Secret Service director got fired. She refused to answer questions. Her hearing in front of Congress was an absolute joke. There's no other way around it. It was beyond humiliating. It was absolutely pathetic. But let's take a moment now, and I'm going to try to put this up on the screen for everyone. And we'll be able to watch right now, for those who have never seen it before, we will be able to watch the moment President Donald Trump was almost killed. And fortunately, for the grace of God, and probably, quite frankly, a miracle, was not. Let's play it.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
So it's important to note there. Did you hear that last shot come in? Did you hear that last shot? I'll see if I can rewind it just a little bit. You're going to hear a shot come in here. This shot is very important. Right there, that one. That is actually the shot, according to the investigations, that killed the shooter. It's possible his gun had been disabled with a round through the butt of the gun, essentially through the buffer tube, made the gun not able to be used. And then that shot right there from about, I believe, about 450 yards, that was the shot that then ended it. Let's go ahead. Let's see if I can keep this going. So he's down. So these guys right here, these are what's called the CAT team. This black guy right here, black uniform. You got another one right here on the screen. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Those are CAT members. They're Secret Service members, but they're part of the counter assault team. Their job is to engage the threat and then clear the way. You can see them rushing in. You can see the CAT guys on the stage right now. All right, so now he's being let off. That obviously was his infamous fight moment where he said it 3 times on the screen. I'm sorry, in front of the audience. He said it 3 times in front of the audience, putting his fist up, doing fight. Just an absolutely bone-chilling moment, a terrifying moment, a scary moment, a world-changing moment. And again, it's hard to believe here we are a year later. I want to know in the comments where you guys were when this happened. Let me know in the comments. Where were you? Were you watching TV? Did you see it in a text? Did you see it on social media? Where were you when you first heard that President Trump had been shot? And now I will tell you where I was. I have a bit of an, I don't know if odd is the right way to say it, but I have a bit of a crazy story for the day where I was when President Donald Trump, then candidate to return to office, was shot. I was actually at a wedding. True story. I was at a wedding. My fiance was a member of the wedding party. I was sitting at a table with another friend of mine and some people we didn't really know when my phone goes off, middle of the afternoon, or what would have been maybe 4:48 local time, 3:48 local time. I don't really remember. the specific timestamp, and I can feel my phone vibrate, and I click my phone, and I'm thinking, why is my buddy texting me on a Saturday afternoon? What could possibly be going on right now? I look down at the phone, and it's my buddy texting me saying somebody just shot Trump. And I'm like, what? Is this a joke? Like, what do you mean someone just shot Trump? Pull up YouTube, looking at the live stream. When I get the video up, he's already down on the ground. I rewind a little bit, play it. I hear the psh, 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 coming through the air. I see him go down, look at his hand, and I realized right away my friend had been right, that he had absolutely been shot. And then there was a mad dash to get information. So my fiance and the wedding party were getting ready to walk in. They're getting ready to walk in for the ceremony. The wedding's been done. And I know my fiance does not have her phone on her. For those of you who don't know, my fiance, not he, sorry, I was going to say this guy is someone spreading some conspiracy theories in the chat right now. Absolutely 100% not true. Trump was absolutely shot. So my fiance, Shelby, is in the hallway. I know she doesn't have her phone. I know that this is going to be a huge story for her, as she is a reporter on the Trump beat. I make the decision. I was like, I don't care if there's a wedding party coming in here or not. I'm going to go get Shelby's phone. So I run out of the room. I run to essentially the bridal suite where all the bridesmaids had their stuff. I knew that's where her phone was. As I'm running past this group, as I run past this group, I turn to them and I say, Trump's been shot. And they all say, well, what'd you just say? And I repeated myself. I said, Trump's been shot. I immediately go get Shelby's phone. I come back, loop back around, give her phone. And at this point, I got the video up, and the DJ at the wedding, the MC, whatever you want to call it, he's telling me to essentially, hold on, I'm going to lift my chair up here real quick. He's telling me to essentially get the F out of the way, like go the F away. And I'm trying to tell him and everyone else what has just happened. People are in a state of shock. The reactions across the room were absolutely insane. One of the people I was with was on the verge of being very emotional for very good reason. I could see how rattled she was. And then throughout the night, we just did our best to get as much information as we possibly could about what had happened. And I know that there's a lot of different people out there who had similar experiences of it just being pure chaos, pure carnage. I'm going to read some of the people. Some of the people are in the comments right now. So I'm going to throw some of these up, and we'll see where everyone else was. So Joe Saunders, he saw it on social media. Robert, he was in Illinois. We got this guy also in Illinois. Yes, don't forget about Corey. Corey tragically passed away. He was one of the people hit in the volley of gunfire, and we remember Corey. I believe his last name spelled wrong there, but we understand the message. Nick was in Livermore, California. I was eating at the beach and saw it. We thought it was fake at first, like 9/11 when I was on the school bus in 9th grade. I thought, are they playing a movie scene or something? Yeah, that's not a bad way of looking at it. I wouldn't have believed it either. Here we go. People didn't believe or understand me, even though I watched it on TV. Yeah, there was a lot of confusion. And I'll be honest with you, I saw some reactions from people in the days that followed. I was at a place in DC I like going to. This insane person walked in and was telling us it was fake. They were telling us that it was nonsense. They were telling us that Trump faked it, which of course anyone with a brain knows damn well that absolutely never happened, nor would it. So I see some stuff about Tucker in the comments. We're going to get into Tucker in a little bit here. Don't worry. Don't worry about that at all. Here's where this situation for me gets very, very dicey. We're a year removed. We still do not know. Okay, if you're going to say stupid things like that, you're going to get nuked off the channel. Guys, if you think I won't nuke you from the channel, nuke you from the comments, from typing things that are, one, patently false, two, could get this could get this video pulled down, it's just not going to be tolerated. It's just not going to be allowed to happen. So who was Thomas Matthew Crooks? Who was this guy that somehow outsmarted the Secret Service, outsmarted the local police, outsmarted county police who was there, and crawled up on an unsecure roof in order to make those shots? Who was this guy? Here's what we know about Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was a loner. He was an outsider. He had absolutely no significant skills of any kind, right? No significant skills of any kind. He apparently, at some point, was such a bad shot, he got removed from his high school rifle team. And he had a drone that he was flying around the area scoping it out, that I guess the Secret Service was just not able to see, that the local police were just not able to see. Keep in mind, let me see if I can find a photo of this sloped roof. Let's see if I can find a photo of the sloped roof that I can show here. Because remember, the Secret Service claimed that the roof couldn't be secured because it was sloped. All right, so I think we can see it right here. This is going to be, well, this will be good. This will show you what's going on. Let me throw this. Throw this up on the screen. All right, that's Crooks right there, blurred out. This is either a police officer or a Secret Service agent. You see it here. Does that roof look too sloped to have a person on? Is there not a person standing right there on it? So it wasn't too sloped for Thomas Matthew Crooks, someone who has zero noticeable skills, to get up there with a rifle that he somehow snuck past everybody. It wasn't too sloped for him, but it was too sloped for the Secret Service and the local police. So wrap your head around that one. And in fact, I actually wrote about this a while ago. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. To tell you the absurdity of this, I will show it to you right now. So this is what the Secret Service says. That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. So, you know, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, you know, the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. Let's go ahead and read what Chris Fettis, former SEAL Team 6 sniper, let's see what he had to say. Let me see if I can take a screenshot of this. All right, here we go. This is coming from Chris Fettis. This was an interview I did with Chris right after it happened. Chris, former SEAL Team 6 sniper, great dude, runs and owns a ice cream place in Virginia Beach, Be Free Craft Ice Cream. Check it out if you're ever in Virginia Beach. He says, this is in response to Cheadle's idiotic comment. No, that's stupid. Of course you can. It may be a little more difficult, but you always put them on the highest ground possible. Fettis bluntly told me. Further saying, we call those non-standard shooting positions. The former SEAL Team 6 sniper further elaborated just how open are the options. If you can see it, you might be able to get a setup on. There's always there's ways to set up on anything. Helicopter, angled roof, hell, an effing tree if you need it. Another former Tier 1 operator told me, you can easily be on a sloped roof to shoot. Based on the pitch of the roof will determine your body position. If needed, it's easy to secure a safety line to one of the structures on the roof to maintain your position. So that is what they said. So again, loner loser who has nothing going for him in life, doesn't have any idea what's going on, He's able to get on a roof that's apparently so dangerous the Secret Service can't secure it. And then he rips off multiple shots, and Trump is saved by a miracle, turning his head at the last moment, getting hit in the ear. We're a year removed, and we still don't have any idea what happened. No idea. I don't know why we don't know. I've heard some reports that they've been unable to get in to Crooks' phone. How is it that this idiot, who again has no serious social skills, has a phone encrypted to a level that the United States government can't break into it? Would anyone like to explain that? Do we know who this guy's friends were? Do we know who he was talking to? The answer to that is no. We don't have a clue. And anyone who's not suspicious of that, I don't know what to tell you. We are not being given the full truth. Now, does that mean that there's some grand cover-up? Does that mean that they know the answer and won't tell us? Well, Trump's president again. If Trump knew the answer, I'm sure he'd tell us. You know, I do see all these theories that it was Iran was behind it. Iran was behind the 2 attempts. Iran has been trying to get them other ways due to Soleimani. I don't know if that's true or not. Iran just got their face punched in the 12-day war, and we dominated them. The United States flew 7 B-2 stealth bombers, and the rest is history. So, okay, we've got a super chat here. $20. Michael, make sure you send in your super chats. I'll try to answer as many as I can. $20. Michael, a line injury attorney. Commie CNN showed up to film the kill shot. Obama. Yeah, listen, I don't think Obama had anything to do with this. I don't think CNN had anything to do with it. Was CNN even there? Like, that's a serious question, because I remember there only being 1 or 2 broadcasts. Does anyone know for sure if CNN was there or what other news outlets were there? I don't remember that. I don't want to say something that could be incorrect, but I don't know. I don't know. So someone just texted me and said, yes, CNN was there. Well, there you go. I doubt if there was any grand plan, CNN knew anything about it. You wouldn't include a news network. I wouldn't think. So listen, I don't watch CNN. I don't. Okay. So hold on. I'm getting a text message. Is this from a CNN reporter? Let me see what this is. Got to verify it before I put it. Okay, it is. I'm going to put this on the screen. So this was apparently, from what I'm being told from the room over, this was apparently the CNN reporter that was on the scene. And she tweeted about it today. So I could be butchering this name. If I am, I apologize. Elena Trini. A year ago today, I watched as an attempted assassin open fire on then candidate Donald Trump, July 13, 2024. Ultimately became one of the most pivotal moments of the entire campaign. How the days that followed changed the election and MAGA movement. She has a story linked below. All right. My fiance can hear this in the other room. Obviously, she's a reporter at that level as well. She's trying to feed me some information. She is saying, I believe most networks were there. It was a campaign event. Usually big networks that embedded covering all Trump events. So, okay, I guess they were there. I don't really know much past that. That's what Shelby's saying. Not something I would know anything about. Give me 1 second. I actually do have a nice crispy cold one here in my Badgers mug. Figured why not? It's Sunday night. We might as well start the week off strong, finish out Sunday night well. All right. Why do we think it's possible a year later we still don't know anything? That's a sincere question from me. Why is it that the media wasn't rushing out there to get to the bottom of this? Why is it that the media has seemingly forgotten and moved on? Well, there's some understandable answers. Trump returned to the Oval Office as president for his second term. And there's so much new news coming out every single day that you're just not going to be able to I mean, there's just something new every day. It is like, I'm trying to figure out the right word. Whether it's the Epstein files, the war between Israel and Iran that the United States had to come in and end, kind of play daddy for everyone and remind them daddy's home and this is over now. Whether it's that, the tariffs, it just never, ever ends. It just never, ever, ever ends. So I understand that there's always something new to talk about, but we almost watched President Trump lose his life on live feed for the entire world to watch, and everyone has just moved on with no answers. Then, shortly after that, he is out on his golf course in Florida, and another person had been lying in wait for 12 hours with a weapon, and the Secret Service had to shoot at him to get him out of there. Do we know much about that guy? We know everything there is about anyone who does anything wrong, whether it be a tragedy to school, whatever it is. We've got manifestos. We've got their whole life story. We know who their friends are. We know absolutely everything, except for the two guys who attempted to kill Trump. And on that end, we don't know anything. We seemingly don't know anything at all. Isn't that a bit weird? Isn't it a bit weird that whenever there's a tragedy at school, we have the entire life story of everyone involved down to the specific detail? But when the leading candidate to return to the White House is shot, we seemingly don't know anything at all. Are you buying that? I'm certainly not buying that. I'd encourage none of you to buy it as well. It's just really shocking. And now here we are a year later, and I'm at a loss for words, but I want to know your theories. Let me know your theories in the comments. I'll try to read some. Obviously, super chats get priority. So we do have this one from Sean. It says all the major news outlets were there. They were not present at any rallies prior to the Butler event. Is that true? It was that the first one where they all showed up to? Because Shelby is saying that they were all there, or many of them were there. But you also got to remember, that was very close to the RNC date. At that point, everyone was getting their ducks in a row. Everyone was getting ready to go. All right, what else we got in the chat? Let's see if we... All right, I'm going to... Shelby can hear this. Why doesn't Shelby just tell me what the timeline was for when his events were covered wall to wall? Let's start there. Shelby will know the answer. She's in the other room. We can go with that, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. This is 100% what I'm saying. We have heard nothing about the shooters involved with either of the Trump assassination attempts. Press seems uninterested. Yeah, they do seem kind of uninterested, don't they? Like, this should be a way bigger story, both of them. We should know everything about these two people. And we seemingly know nothing, and many people are content to keep it that way. And I'll tell you this. I'm not putting anything past people in positions of power in this country. Do we all remember what happened to JFK when he drove down a road in Dallas with his hood down in a limousine that had no hood on it? How'd that work out? The idea that everyone has your best interest at heart is a fantasy. All right, this is what Shelby says. I'm going to read it. I'm gonna read what she said. This is what she's saying. All the major networks had at least one reporter covering Trump for the roughly 2 years that he ran for president. That'd be the 2 years leading up to his 2024 campaign. They were there for every event of his. They're all called campaign embeds. Well, there you go. That's what she says. I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to bring Shelby in here because I know she's traveled with Trump before. She's been on Trump's plane before. I don't know if Shelby's been on Air Force One. She's certainly been on Trump's private plane before a handful of times. All right, let's see if we got anything good in the chat right now. Anything. Shelby has been on Air Force One. I'm getting fact checked live on air by my fiance. Let's see. Yeah, weird for sure. It is very, very weird. It is very weird. This is the common theory. A spot was left open for him on that roof. Well, it was left completely unguarded, to the point an idiot who I'll say it again, had no significant life skills, had zero tactical training at all, somehow magically gets up on this roof with a clear line of sight to take multiple shots at the former president and soon to be next president of the United States. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. So I think people need to demand answers. I think people need to understand that you're not just going to be given the information. You have to go get the information. You have to go out there and demand the truth. That's what I want. That's what I care about. The truth. And here we are a year later, and we don't have any clue what happened at all. None. Is that acceptable to you? It's not acceptable to me. I want to know who Thomas Matthew Crooks was. I want to know what his motivations were. I want to know how these security failures happened. Can anyone explain? And the answer is no. We're not being given all the information. It's truly that simple. All right, here we go. This wouldn't have never happened if Tim Kennedy was there. All right, that's pretty funny. I've got to give you that one. That is a funny one. Of course, it wouldn't have happened if Tim Kennedy was there. No, it would not have happened if Tim was there, because Tim, as we all know, is the biggest hero the world has ever seen. So, of course, it wouldn't have happened. If only Tim Kennedy had been there, he would have gotten the guy, and that would have been the end of that. Let's see about this. The evil goes back so many decades. The CIA has been involved in every assassination attempt since they were created. Yeah, trust me, the CIA has killed plenty of people. Anyone who can pick up a book can realize that the CIA has done more of its fair share of bloodshed over the years. There's absolutely that's 100% true. All right, get your super chats in. I'm going to try to read some questions here. All right. Can we get confirmation that Tim Kennedy has ever been in a firefight? So, as you guys know, I am bringing a full investigation into Tim Kennedy. Will be published at some point. This is where words matter. Firefight. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that Tim was in like close quarters battles in a compound or in a house, and he's shooting at guys that are 3-4 feet away from him, and he's just blasting and blasting and blasting and blasting? Is that what you mean? No, I have zero confirmation that it ever happened. This will be in the report. This is I've talked about 20 people that worked with Tim in the military on his specific time, mostly in Afghanistan, but other people who knew him elsewhere. And I found one person that actually ever saw Tim pull a trigger. And it was with the Shytac rifle. According to this witness, whose name I can't share for security reasons, Tim did go up into a tower. He did take a shot, according to this witness, at something. They don't really know what it was, who it was, if he hit him. And then that was the end of it. It was one shot. Tim left. That was the only shooting anyone witnessed with him. So there you go. That is true. That is one witness out of 20. I have zero confirmation that Tim Kennedy has ever been in like a CQB gunfight. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean someone won't come forward as a witness. I'm just telling you, I have personally not been able to find it. All right, we got a couple super chats here. Michael back again for $1.99. Thank you very much, Michael. Hit that like and subscribe button in homeschool. Yes, please hit the like and subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps the channel. It is huge, huge, huge for the channel. All right, we've got this one. I don't know if I can put that on the screen, but hold on. Let me get a sip real quick. We have someone saying that Israel is responsible. Google dancing Israelis. Yeah, I mean, I've heard all about the old dancing Israelis. The reality is, look, I'm an open-minded guy. You're going to have to show me concrete evidence. You're going to have to show me concrete evidence of any claim in order for me to believe it. There are a million theories out there about 9/11, a million of them. Obviously, they're not all true. Could some of them be true? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible that some of them could be true. It would be ignorant of me, 100%, 1000% ignorant, actually, to sit here and tell you all that, oh, there's no way that happened, that there's no way this occurred. I don't know. I'm not a big 9/11 truther. My favorite conspiracy theory is the JFK assassination. That one I'm willing to entertain. That one I'm willing to entertain quite a bit. I'm not really into 9/11 ones just because I haven't found any of them to be that interesting. Someone just asked me. I'm not reading that. That's crazy. Come on. Here we go. We got one from Chad Morris. I love this country, but damn, I hate this government. Yeah, I'd rather have conservatives in power, but at the end of the day, it's the same BS. Yeah, I mean, it's the swamp, right? It's the swamp. It's the government. Everyone's out for themselves. People only do what enriches them. People only do what makes them more money. That's just the nature of the beast. You got to understand that. You got to accept that. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you understand that, the easier your life's going to get. So that's where I'm at on the Trump assassination. That is where my views on it are. That is where I, quite frankly, come down on it. We don't have enough information. We have no idea what is going on. We don't know anything about the people responsible. And it's really just that simple. It's really just that simple. But do I think we'll eventually get answers? I hope we eventually get answers. We're owed answers. We deserve answers. We need answers. But so far, that has not happened. Here we go. David Hookstead, what do you think about Sean Ryan giving Gavin Newsom a pistol? All right. Let me talk about this for a second. Gavin Newsom, when he was given a pistol by Sean Ryan, had the audacity to claim that he's not anti-gun, but he just wants gun restrictions. That's what being anti-gun is. Period. If you want gun restrictions, you're anti-Second Amendment. And anyone who's like, well, I think you should be allowed to have a revolver and a shotgun, but you don't need an AR-15. Don't come in here with that. Don't come in here with that trash. Last time I checked, the Second Amendment doesn't say you're allowed to hunt pheasants. Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting. Wasn't designed for that. Yeah, people who say high capacity magazine clips, not even a thing. Magazines and clips are not interchangeable. They're two different things. Newsom is a terrible, terrible politician. He is a scumbag leader. He has helped drive California into the hellhole that it is. These are just the facts. Sorry, they're just the facts. And no, I wasn't overly impressed. I know people came at me because I said Sean Ryan should release a statement about his Tim Kennedy interview. And the reality of the situation is I stand by that. I like Sean Ryan. I don't know Sean Ryan. I've never spoken to Sean Ryan. I think Sean Ryan has a lot of good guests. But at the end of the day, like, come on, like that clip, that video, I think his Sean Ryan interview, in my opinion, will be the one that haunts Tim Kennedy the most. He said things in that interview that he's going to have to answer for, and he's going to have a damn hard time explaining them. Now, I also want to address this. Let me get a quick sip. Starting to get a little bit of dry mouth. I also want to address this. I see Tucker's back in the news. Tucker's in the news every day. That's just the reality. When you're Tucker Carlson and you're him, you're going to be in the news absolutely all the time whenever you say anything. Certainly if you say it on your show or speech or whatever it might be. As you guys all know, I worked for Tucker for a very long time. I'm close with Tucker. I love Tucker. I think he's a great, great, great dude. I don't agree with 100% of what he says, but I think that most of the time he certainly appears to be over the target. And even if he's off on a couple things here or there, I think genuinely he tries to do a damn good job. I think he cares about the truth. I think he cares about finding out the truth. And that's what we should all want. That's what we should all hope for and expect out of anyone in a position of power. And I think Tucker makes his best effort to get that done. Well, Tucker is got the rage bait machine going, and I'm going to see if I can share this. Let me throw this up on the screen. I'll back it up. All right. Republicans are livid with these comments. I'm going to play part of him here, and then I'm going to address him.
Deny people what they actually want long enough, and instead substitute things that you claim they should want, like bombing Iran. You know, I mean, I'm not for Iran, where you spend all day telling me that it's so important that, you know, boys not playing girls' soccer teams, whatever. I agree. I hate the tranny stuff passionately. I think you should keep the boys off girls' soccer teams. But I don't know. It kind of feels like you're feeding me appetizers. At some point, I want to look around and see a better country. I want to see a country I recognize. I don't want to see people sleeping on the sidewalk. I don't see people ODing on drugs. I want to know where those drugs coming from. Why can't you stop it? You've got the U.S. military. Don't you have SEAL Team 6? Like, what are they doing today? Don't you have Delta Force?
So I made a video about those comments previously, focusing on the SEAL Team 6 Delta Force aspect of like, hey, why don't we use our massive military to go crush the cartels? Why don't we use our special operations to absolutely smack these guys around? Why don't we use our special operations to kill bad guys? I don't know. It seems like a smart thing to do. It seems like something worth doing to me. Now, some people might say that, oh no, don't do that. That's neither here nor there. I'm just giving it to you the way I see it. What I don't understand is people seem very upset about that. I don't really know why. The reality of the situation is the biggest problems we face in this country in terms of threats to our way of life and the structure of our communities and the safety of our communities, number one, the direct threat is the cartels. We lose 100,000 Americans a year. 100,000 Americans a year to that poison and BS. And we can have debates about other things. You can have your culture wars. You can have all that stuff. You can do that. That's not really going to impact your life at all. Like, I hate to break it to you. It doesn't. It doesn't affect or impact food prices in the grocery store. It doesn't impact your ability to get a job. It doesn't impact your ability. I mean, culture war stuff, while some of it is important, and I have views on it that I'm pretty open about and straightforward about, it doesn't actually impact your day-to-day existence. It doesn't impact your ability to save money. It doesn't impact your ability to raise a safe family in a safe community in America. When we start talking about the crisis we have pouring over the border and the poison that is infecting our communities, killing our children, killing our friends, killing our family members, that is an issue that should take priority over all other issues. Period. And anyone who thinks that there are issues more important than that, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear them. And I don't, because as far as I can tell, they don't exist. The other thing we all have to be very aware of, and we have to know, is China. That's the other big threat. China. And we have to take that threat insanely seriously. And we have to prepare to battle them. We have to make sure our deterrence is higher than ever before. We have to make sure maybe that we don't ever lose that edge. Because if we get into a shooting war with China, I promise you, whatever little culture war policies you care about won't matter if we are losing aircraft carriers in the South China Sea. And that's a tough pill for some people to swallow. That's something some people don't want to hear, but it's 100% true. I don't know what that means, but I'm not gonna discuss that here right now. Dude, what is this? Do you guys know something I don't? Wait until you see what's coming. Then you'll have something real to discuss and debate. Feel free to let me know what's coming. I'd love to get ahead of it. Would love to get ahead of it. I cannot understand why people are outraged by that at all. And I've seen right-wing Twitter has been going after Tucker because he said Epstein is a Mossad agent or was likely working for Israeli intelligence. I think Megyn Kelly said the same thing or maybe implied the same thing during the same event, a TPUSA event, I believe it was. Listen, I don't know if he was or he wasn't, but I 100% believe there's more to the Epstein thing than they're letting on. I don't know how anyone could watch what's going on and say, oh no, Jeffrey Epstein was just this normal dude who definitely wasn't doing all these terrible things, who definitely wasn't engaged in a litany of crimes. No, the reality is he was clearly operating in the same capacity any intelligence agent would. Now, who was he working for? Who was knowingly or unknowingly? Because remember, some people get used as useful idiots and don't even know about it. And by the way, I'll say this too. Pam Bondi, is there a camera that woman has ever seen that she didn't want to get in front of? I'm starting to really lose it with Pam Bondi. Why does Pam Bondi think her job is to be a TV star? It's a serious question. It's a serious question. Isn't she the attorney general? Isn't it the job of the attorney general to enforce the law in the United States of America? Not to constantly hold press conferences, not to constantly look for media hits. Pam Bondi blew any and all credibility she had. Any and all credibility she had with the handling of the Epstein thing. And that's not to say that what was in the Epstein, that's not to say that there might not be a list or there is a list. I don't know. But I know Pam Bondi's handling of it has been absolutely atrocious. You made all these promises. You made all these things. You claimed you had the list on your desk. You claimed you had all this stuff. And then what happens? You release a press statement. I believe, what was it, last Sunday? Was it Sunday of last week? We were like, oh yeah, there was nothing. No one else was involved. No one else is going to be charged. Just disappear. You either knew that from the beginning or you didn't. And if you knew that from the beginning, why were you running around saying other things? Can someone please explain that to me? Now, I'm being serious. Can anyone explain that to me? Of course, the answer is no. And we all know why the answer is no. All right, get some questions in here. I know we're late. We got this started a little bit late. What else? What else are the big topics we can cover on the news? What else is going on out there? Let me pull up some stuff here. Why is North Korea trending? That doesn't seem like a good thing. Hold on. Is something going on in North Korea? Hold on. What's going on? Oh, North Korea says they vow unending support. North Korea vows unending support for Russia in its war against Ukraine. Well, their military is a joke, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. All right, what do we got in the comments? Let's read some stuff in the comments. Make sure to get your super chats in. Yeah, this is true. North Korea did send Russia soldiers and equipment, and I don't think it went well for them. It turns out not having any combat experience for the better part of what? 70 years, 70-something years-ish, 75 years. Turns out facing modern weapons is not great when you don't have any experience. You're poorly trained. You're poorly equipped. That's just the nature of the beast, as we all know. Do we really think this? Do we think Men in Black came to visit Pam Bondi and told her what was what? I got it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but Pam Bondi played everyone like a fool, played everyone like a fiddle, and it turned out she had nothing the entire time. End of story. Like, I hate to be the guy who breaks the news to everyone here, but Pam Bondi is absolutely full of it. 100% full of it. All right, what else do we got here? I'm just going through the comments right now, seeing if we got any good comments. Definitely jump in here with your comments. I'm going to try to read. What? Okay, I don't really know what's going on. Well, yeah, let's talk about Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino apparently is threatening to quit. He's apparently getting close to saying, I want to get out of here. I don't want to do this. There had been rumors that Kash Patel might do the same, but then ultimately Kash Patel came out. Let's see if I can find that. And came out and see if I can find that tweet. It said he's going to be staying. Let's see if it's up. Where is it? Come on now. Probably should have had this one ready to go. Did it get taken down? Huh. Oh, here we go. I got it. All right, let me throw it up on the screen for everyone. Give me a second here. So this is Kash Patel. The conspiracy theories just aren't true, never have been. It's been an honor. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. So that right there was Kash Patel saying, no, he's not leaving, and the rumors about him leaving aren't actually true. Again, we'll see whether or not that actually occurs. Oh, and we just got this. So this is in today as well. So Trump says he spoke to FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino today and that he's a very good guy. So maybe he's not leaving. We shall see. So there you go. Shelby's now appeared on the show. Shelby has appeared on the show to let us all know that Trump and Bongino spoke. I don't know whether or not he's actually going to stay in the FBI or not. We shall see. But what else? What else we got in the chats? Probably do this just a little bit longer here. If you got your super chats, go ahead. We'll get to them. All right, what do we got? I don't believe Kim Jong-un's son is a real person. Does he have a son? How old is the son? I didn't know that. I didn't know. I know Kim Jong-un was married. And you want to know what's crazy. Do you guys know about his sister? You think Kim Jong-un's a bad guy. Wait until you meet his sister. His sister allegedly is the brains behind the operation. Let me see if I can put this up on the screen for you. Let me see if this is. So this is his sister. That's Kim Jong-un's sister. And his sister is far more brutal, apparently, than he is. And there's been talks that if he were to go down, she would take over. She'd be the first ever female leader of North Korea. And she apparently is as ruthless, brutal, and violent, and more so than her own brother. Her own brother, of course, being Kim Jong-un. And he is a terrible, terrible, terrible dictator. So you don't want this woman running any country. You definitely don't want her running one that has nukes. She is a bad, bad, bad person. What do we got here? Dave putting himself on the NK hit list. North Korea wants to come over here and give it a good old shot. You'd be shocked by how many people want to take me out. You'd be shocked. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love it if I got killed in an accident. Of course, if that happens, then you can probably bet it was not an accident. But she's bad. She's bad news. She's terrible. Listen, probably not the first hit list I'll ever be on. Probably not the last hit list I'll ever be on. I've made some enemies over the years. Don't really care. You'd be shocked by how most people crumble. A lot of people like to talk tough. A lot of people like to make themselves seem like they're hot shots. Turns out 99.99% of them aren't. It's all talk. That's just basic fact of life. Uh-oh. Shelby keeps feeding me information. Oh my gosh. Guys, Shelby is in the chat. Shelby is in the chat right now. I don't know if you can all see her. Hold on. I'm trying to find her right now. Here we go. So her brother hopped in. She's nothing compared to my sister. My sister referring to Shelby, who is my fiance. Yeah, that's probably true. Good to see you, Aiden. Hope all is well. That is probably true. Shelby would be a dictator of the likes the world has never seen before. And I fear that society as a whole could end if she ever possessed the power of nukes. I mean, we're talking, you think Kim Yo Jong, or however you pronounce her name, is brutal. Wait till you would see Shelby behind the wheel of a dictatorship. There'd probably be a lot of score settling going on. Let's go. Let's go. So, yeah, Shelby's in the chat. Everyone say hello to her. It's kind of odd because she's also in the home right now as well, watching from a different room. But that's funny. We like it. We enjoy it. We have fun here. It's what we do. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button while you're here, please. It helps a lot. Keep commenting with your thoughts. It's great to see, great to hear. You know. All right. What do we got here? What do we got here? I don't know what that means. Huh. So someone's saying there's 2 North Korean characters in Squid Games. I only watched the first season of Squid Games. I did like it. Haven't watched the new seasons. I'm sure it's good. As always, if you guys got super chats, now's the time to send them in. I'm trying to read as many comments as I can, try to get everyone involved as much as I can. Love talking. What does this mean? Dave likes to keep people on the reservation. Fence City. What fence do I sit on? I tell you exactly how I feel. I tell you exactly what I think. I tell you exactly the way I come to a conclusion. And then you guys can make up your own ideas, theories, and beliefs from there. I never, ever come here and tell anybody how to think. I don't ever tell anybody, hey, I believe this, so you have to believe this. That's never once happened. And it won't. I really didn't expect us to be talking about North Korea today. Fun, but here we are. I mean, this is the nice thing about just hopping on a live stream for the 1-year anniversary of Trump surviving miraculously. You want to know something crazy about North Korea? You can actually go on Google Maps, and on Google Maps, you can see their prison camps. Go to Google and type in North Korean or North Korea prison camps, Google Maps, and there will be places where you can literally zoom in and see all the different places where the North Koreans have their prison camps. It's absolutely terrifying stuff. I mean, there are literally modern day concentration camps. What the Korean dictatorship does to its people is beyond disgusting. All right. Did y'all catch my air conditioning video that I released, my address to the nation about having my AC fixed? Did we all see that? Did we all see that? Hold on. Someone's saying that I'm talking more about North Korea than Epstein. I released a whole video about Epstein. I've released multiple videos about Epstein, talking about him right now. So the idea that I shy away from talking about Jeffrey Epstein is absolutely 100% false. I will talk about whatever I need to talk about. Whatever I want to talk about, I'll talk about. So here's where we are at on the AC situation. Today's Sunday. On Friday, we made the decision they weren't going to be able to find where the hole in the refrigerator, the copper line, they weren't going to be able to find where that was. So then we had to lay all this copper line to where the unit is outside, of a ton of it. They had to go up through walls. They had to go through all this other stuff. It was just absolutely insane. So now the line is in, the AC is working, but now they got to patch up all the drywall. So they're coming back Monday, I think Tuesday and Wednesday to get the drywall patched. And hopefully that'll be the end of this saga. All in, going to cost me probably about 12 grand. That's what this whole kick in the teeth that I've been dealing with, these insane temps, is going to cost me about 12 grand when it's all said and done. Not 12 grand, not 12 grand that I wanted to spend. I could have easily. So I think it says it. Someone's saying how much pipe. It was well over 100 feet. It was well over 100 feet of pipe that had to be laid, which I didn't think, you say 100 feet, you don't think it really sounds that much, but that's a ton. That's an absolute ton, apparently, of copper pipe. And that shit apparently is also not very not very cheap, because I had to spend 12 grand. Now, people are saying better than the $38,000 estimate I got. Yeah, that's true. Better than paying 38 grand. That's 100% true. So that's where we are. We're sitting in the nice AC. We're sitting with the ability. I just heard the AC kick on right now, actually. Look at that. Just heard the AC kick on. Feels good. Oh, man. It's always good. It always feels good to get the AC going. So that's where we're at. Probably won't hear many more AC updates from me because there's really no other updates to give. It's finished. It's done. And unless it breaks again, we're done. The AC hopefully will continue to work. All right, let's get some more questions in. I'll put on a timer for 10 more minutes. You guys can ask whatever you want. I will answer it. You know me. I have no problem. Why don't we just do this till 9 o'clock where I'm at? So we'll do 11 minutes. Any questions you want to ask, I will answer them. As always, nothing is off limits. Okay, someone is saying, oh boy. Who co-authored Tim's book? I believe Tim's book was co-authored by a guy named Nick Palmisano, but let me make sure that's true. Let me make sure that's true. I've actually been trying to get a hold of the publisher. I have some questions I would like them to answer for the investigative piece. So, yeah, Nick Palmisano. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Palmisano. Let me see here. I'll put this on the screen. Here you go. So there it is. You can see the authors up top. You can get it for $24.99. Can you get it used? You can get it used for $341. So there you go. That is his book. What do we got here? The unit itself, the AC unit itself was not broke. It was the lines that were broke. The refrigerant lines, those copper lines, that's what was broke. And that's what had to be fixed. And it took forever and was insanely expensive. All right. Where is Dusty? I don't know. Do we all want to see Dusty? He's probably enjoying the AC in another room. Someone saying, well, my fiance is asking, where's Dusty? She ought to know. She ought to know, because if she doesn't know where he is, he's not in here, which means he might be running around the streets. Is $24.99 expensive for toilet paper. That's about what that book should be used for. That's all that book is worth. It is complete BS. It is a joke of a book. And anyone who thinks otherwise is, frankly, an idiot. The amount of nonsense that's in there. See, a lot of you guys in the chat are talking about John McPhee. I don't know much about John. I think his story about the helicopters doesn't make much sense to me, to be honest with you. Doesn't make much sense to me at all. So someone keeps saying, is Israel our best ally? I don't mind addressing this. The reality is, have you guys ever heard of Five Eyes? Does the term Five Eyes ring a bell to you guys? Does anyone know what that is? Anyone in the chat? Do you guys know what Five Eyes is? Well, I will show it to you right now. I always love when people ask who our best ally is if the United States government hasn't made that crystal clear over and over again. All right, let me put it on the screen. All right, Five Eyes. The United States has a military intelligence sharing alliance with our closest allies. There is information that alliance shares that we don't share with any other allies. We don't give to anyone. We don't let anyone know about it. Nothing. Those countries are viewed in the eyes of the U.S. government. This is not my opinion. The U.S. government views them as our closest allies. Those countries are Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK. If you ask me which ones are our closest military allies, it would probably be the UK, Canada, and Australia jockeying for first. New Zealand would then be in the fourth. New Zealand probably wouldn't even be in there, but this alliance, the Five Eyes Alliance, when anyone talks about who our greatest ally is, this is all you need to know. I'll highlight it on the screen right here. You see those countries that I just highlighted on the side right here? I don't know if you can see my cursor right here. According to the U.S. government, that is who our best allies are. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. That's what it is. Those are the closest allies of the United States of America. Plus, we have all of NATO. Obviously, Israel is not in NATO, nor will they ever be in NATO for a litany of reasons. And secondly, they are not here. They are not one of these five countries. You can agree with it. You can disagree with it. But that is the fact of the matter. Those are the countries in the eyes of the United States government that are closest with the United States. Obviously, NATO's up there too. NATO being the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Get your questions in. And I'll keep answering them. And then I'm going to bounce and probably head to bed relatively soon after that. Oh, so a lot of you have heard of Five Eyes. All right, so I guess I wasn't the only one that knew about that. Of course, I wouldn't be the only one. You're an insanely intelligent audience. Last chance for super chats as well. I'm heading out of here. I did see someone said they tried to super chat me. Did he say that? I don't think Brent said that. I'll have to go back and rewatch the interview. I would be shocked if he did. What am I drinking? There's no free ads on the show, so I'm not going to tell you the beer company. No free ads on the show. It is a domestic light beer. A domestic light beer. As you guys know, I like domestic light beers, and that is what I'm drinking at the moment. We got Benjamin Leckman. Congrats on your increase in subs. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Really, I have to give a shout out to all of you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. I didn't have you guys coming in, hanging out, shooting the shit, I wouldn't be here. So really, you guys are a much bigger part of this than I am. We're kind of all in this together. I am not drinking Bud Light. My fiance is trying to start a nasty rumor in the comments. People in the comments, ignore Shelby. This is not Bud Light. Please shame Shelby. You all have my permission to shame Shelby for being a liar. Shelby is a liar, and I'm not drinking Bud Light. And everyone, go ahead and point that out in the comments to Shelby. Don't let her get away with her vicious little eyes. Oops. All right, we got $5 from Nick. Dave, a dude was hit by Ricochet in the stands in Butler. Love the channel. Was that one of the two guys that survived? Like, are you saying the bullet hit a piece of metal or something and then bounced back? I don't know. Is that true? Is that true? I'll have to look into that. Israel won't do NATO because it doesn't work with the agenda, though they seem to call for NATO help when it suits them. The reason why Israel won't do NATO is, one, they'll never be invited to join because it is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It is meant to defend Europe. It is not meant to defend the Middle East, although obviously the countries did go into Afghanistan with us after 9/11. Israel's military is not suited to be a NATO military. It's not designed for that. It can't do that. It's also in constant conflict. And Article 5 of NATO allows you to activate it and then get other NATO partners to come to your defense. So NATO countries don't want to be involved in Middle Eastern problems. And if a NATO member in the Middle East is constantly in a state of combat, what's going to happen? That's going to get activated. It would have been activated on October 7th, just like we activated after 9/11. And nobody wants to deal with that. So no, Israel will never be a part of NATO. Their military is not designed to be part of NATO. It's just not at all realistic. Benjamin, again, I love watching your stuff. Informative and accurate, super fast, keeps me off X and sifting through the news. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Benjamin. I appreciate that. I try to put together a fun show. We try to not take ourselves too seriously. We try not to, recognize that we're not above laugh. We can laugh at ourselves. Hold on. What is going on? Did I miss somebody? Did I miss someone in the comment? Shelby's saying I missed someone. Okay, that's not funny. That is not funny at all. I had no way. That is the last rumor we need spreading. You guys in the comments claiming that they didn't release the Epstein files because I'm in them is hilarious, but not really. Let's not get that rumor going out there. That's the last thing we need. All right, we are down. We got a minute left, as always. That is completely untrue. I don't know why my fiance is trying to spin people up into a frenzy. Why she is do little jokester. Didn't realize I was living with a comedian. Did not realize I was living with a comedian. I guess so, though. Good for us. Wife's a ball buster. Yeah, she certainly likes to make jokes. She's probably cackling outside the room to herself right now. Dusty is wondering why she's laughing so much. Hold on here. I'm trying to get through the last of the questions. Katie Johnson. I'm unfamiliar. I will look it up. Don't know who that is, but I will look it up and see. All right. Do I have any relatives in 3-letter agencies? Someone is asking if I have any relatives working in 3-letter agencies. To my knowledge, the answer to that is no, I do not. Yes, if Shelby is probably drinking Bud Light. See, I'm a real American. I don't tolerate that nonsense. I hate Bud Light. I think Bud Light's trash. So no, I don't drink Bud Light. Does Shelby drink it? No, Shelby's more of like a wine cocktail type person. I don't think I've ever seen Shelby ever drink. Well, Shelby's now in the comments. She's probably going to start arguing with people. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right, folks. I appreciate you guys coming in. This has been a blast, as always. We will be doing another one on Tuesday. We're going to stick to the schedule of the Tuesday lives. We'll be doing them. I hope you guys all enjoy them. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We will permanent ban. Big super chat, $9.99 from Aiden Talcott. Permanent ban on Shelby. I will be speaking with Shelby after the stream is done. And I will be making a determination on her permanent ban and whether or not this relationship will continue after her shenanigans. She might be finding herself single before she has to worry about whether or not there's a permanent ban. But I'm glad that the audience now knows Shelby, now knows a little bit about her. Maybe she'll pop in for an episode at some point, say hello to everybody. Maybe she'll bring the dog in. But all right, folks, that is it for me. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Great, strong start to the week. We'll have some cool stuff coming. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I will catch y'all next time.